Hello Anderson County, this is Councilman Brett Sanders recapping February the 18th, 2025's council meeting. Not a lot on the agenda, but a lot of talk and discussion. One good thing was we had 24 properties, burned houses, abandoned houses, properties that the county has cleaned up and got the lots ready. So they're going to donate those houses to Habitat for Humanity, Hope Mission, and Homeless Alliance. So we'll be able to build houses. The good thing about it, there's already the infrastructure there, the water, the sewer, the septic, everything's still there. So I think it will create the opportunity for affordable housing in areas that we need to see the growth in. We need to see new families coming in, and plus it will help, it will put those back on the tax map. There was also tonight a right-of-way issue on Propes and McNeely Road. I think there was like 2 or 3 different right-of-ways. People didn't know who owned what, so basically they went in and we did a 35-foot right-of-way to clean things up. I think there's going to be some development going on there to make sure that everything is in line moving forward. So that was cleared up tonight. Public Planning Works Committee had submitted some things. They actually had some buffer zone areas, which we've already been working on for the past 2 or 3 months, and we got those finalized. Basically some setbacks based on subdivisions coming in, some berms, some buffer zones, some areas in there, so to create really, like he said, a better, higher quality product. Glad to see those are finally in place. We had met with them along with stormwater. We met with developers. We met with property owners. So basically we all sat down at the table, and I think you got a good product when everybody is agreeable, but everybody's not 100% happy. So I think there was some give and take, but I think it's going to end up being a better product overall for the citizens of Anderson County and Anderson County as a whole. And I want to thank everyone that called or sent text messages out. We had a first reading on it was called a 6-month moratorium. I guess a moratorium is any change that limits development. So that came out of Public Planning Works Committee. It was 25, anything greater than 25 houses had to come before the council to vote to allow to move forward to go back to the planning commission, and then anything basically what it's going to follow is like it is now. If it's an unzoned area, the planning commission have final say so. If it's zoned, regardless how the planning commission votes, it comes back before council and has to be unanimous from council to proceed forward. There was something in there that was amended to it that says, okay, we're going to vote on this first reading, but the council member that wants it in their district or wants to see a change or a moratorium in their district has to step up and say, hey, I want it in my district as well prior to second reading. There's a lot of things, I personally want to clarify with Mr. Harmon. I understand where the moratorium was coming from. I think there does need to be a long-term plan in place. I know a lot of people say, we don't have a plan, the infrastructure can't handle it, the schools can't handle it. Well, we do have a plan. We have what's called a master plan. The master plan, which we're working on the next one for the 10 years out, it's a plan, and it's just like zoning. It's not in concrete or stone, but we do have a plan, and when a subdivision meets that plan, when it goes before the planning commission, they have to follow those guidelines. They have to call to make sure, hey, the schools can handle it. They have to make sure to reach out to the fire. Fire says, yes, we can handle it. If it's on sewer, they have to have from the sewer department, hey, we have the capacity. You have to pay for the capacity up front. The traffic study. Now, there might be some potholes and things like that, and our roads are terrible. I agree with that 100%, and we're working and making some progress, but it's a huge barrier to overcome. But, the road, saying the road can't handle it because I had to sit through 2 red lights where I used to sit through 1, or, I had to sit through that stop sign, for 3 minutes, that's not a valid argument. So, I mean, I think the key is to come up with valid arguments. Is kind of like a court of law. You have to have facts, and to say, oh, the school can't handle it, and then you talk to the superintendent and he's like, hey man, we've got plenty of room. Now if the growth continues the same way that we've seen it in the past, in the next 8 to 10 years we're going to have a problem, but we don't have the problem now. And I think that's what I think council needs to do a better job on, educating the public on, hey, this is how a process works. This is the steps it goes through. These are the things that they have, or the barriers they have to overcome, and they are in place. And this moratorium or this ordinance was borrowed from Berkeley County, and I got to research in Berkeley County, and their population is not very much bigger than ours, and I think they actually they have way more houses. So, my concern is, okay, we came up with 25 houses. That's great. I'm fine with that. But where did that number come from? Have you looked at the impact on our budget, which is coming up? I mean, you got permitting fees, sewer tap fees. I mean, there is a lot of things in income that's derived from a subdivision or a major size project that in a 6-month period, it's not going to be there. So are we looking at how we're going to budget for it? I think that needs to be taken into consideration. The other thing is, I think Miss Wilson, well, I know she did, she showed some footage of some property that the city annexed, and the stormwater runoff mess and issues was mind-blowing. You put a moratorium in, we're going to push developers and push them towards annexation with the city of Pendleton or the town of Pendleton, the city of Anderson. Once this annexed, we have no control. So I want to make sure that we're looking at all the long-term procedures, things that could happen and can happen, and how are we going to address those issues prior to second reading. And I think there is the proper mindset, the proper thought process behind what we're doing, but we just got to get out in front of it now and say, hey, we do have a plan, but let's look at this plan over a longer period of time. Let's see how we're going to implement laws or ordinances, or actually take away some that is going to help us achieve our long-term goal. And this moratorium that was brought up today, I think that's going to push council to have to address that. And I applaud Public Planning Works for their efforts and time that they put into it, and look forward to actually getting involved with it to come up with some other things. And again, you're looking at, like I said, annexation, the effect on our budget. You look at, I had a list of things I wrote down, subdivide. You come in, you can do 25 acres. Well, what's going to keep them from starting 2 LLCs? And so I'm going to subdivide this, 200 acre tract, or 8 25 lots. 25 acre tract. So, have you looked at, that far ahead to overcome different things? So, there's a lot to look at, and I think it's going to continue to move forward. I think it's going to create good dialogue, not only at council level, but it's going to, I think you need to sit down with the developers. You need to sit down with the landowners. You need to sit down with the neighbors. Let's all come together and come up with a plan and a product that, may not all be happy, thrilled about, but we can live with that product. And, economic development's been great. You see all these jobs being created. Well, the last thing you want them to do is come in here and use our roads, our resources to come here and work, get paid, go back to another county and get taxed and spend their money in that county and not spend it here. So I think there's a lot to look at, and I think everyone needs to come in open-minded and open-eyed, and just sit down and let's come up with something that can make Anderson County better, turn out a better product, and make us proud to be here. Again, I was born and raised here. I've been here all my life. I hear a lot of these people getting up and speaking, I've been here 5 years, 8 years, and I don't want anything to change. Well, you changed it when you came for my family when we were here, and we accepted you with open arms, and I want to make sure that we provide that southern hospitality moving forward, but we need a good product to do it with. So again, thank everyone for tuning in, and thank you, and have a great evening, Anderson County.